Hi everyone and welcome to my presentation. I'm Ginger and today I'll be presenting You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. This book focuses on mitigating self-doubt, taking control of your life, and creating the future you want. It's highly applicable to entrepreneurs in general, but also specifically women entrepreneurs, as it emphasizes the importance of taking bold actions, overcoming fears, and setting clear goals. You Are a Badass is a self help book that teaches individuals to stop self doubt, embrace their greatness, and control their destiny. Sincero takes us on a journey of personal stories and sheds lights on general advice through implementing humor. So, a bit about her is that she's a best selling author and speaker, and then she became a success coach around 2008 after gaining informal practice and experience with coaching female entrepreneurs. As demonstrated throughout the book, Sincero focuses on shifting people's mindsets and motivating them to achieve their goals. My first key takeaway is taking control of your destiny. Throughout the book, Sincero stresses that we create our reality and talks about the importance of having the power to design the life we want, while also detailing that it starts with responsibility and taking responsibility for our thoughts, actions, and decisions. As stated in chapter 12 of her book, you need to go from wanting to change your life to deciding to change your life. As we have talked about self leadership in class, being intentional about our decisions and choices and understanding that we are in control of where we go and what we do is very valuable. Secondly, Sincero highlights that we have to get used to discomfort. She discusses how growth happens and how it really happens outside your comfort zone, and real change requires pushing through your fears and uncertainties. As she stated, when you make the no nonsense decision to get over your excuses and do whatever it takes to manifest your dream life, the universe will bend over backwards to make it happen. Specifically, pertaining to discussions in class, great negotiation skills sometimes force us to step into uncomfortable situations, whether it's advocating for yourself or asking for what you want. All of this advice was something that I strongly took to heart as I've struggled personally with being able to advocate for myself a lot. So I really appreciate the time she took to integrate that into the book. Next, and my third major takeaway is get out of your own way. Sincero discusses the impact of self doubt and limiting beliefs and how they truly are our biggest obstacles holding us back. People can often convince themselves that they aren't ready or aren't good enough to complete or succeed at something. These thoughts, however, are directly related to our fears. It's a way that we hold ourselves back, and one that needs to be addressed in order to enter every task with confidence. This also includes communication weakeners. My main weakener is over apologizing and discrediting myself before I can even get my own opinion out. By immediately setting myself up for this failure, I can't expect to grow without pushing through this discomfort and literally getting out of my own way. Believing in your abilities is key to achieving what you want. My two following major takeaways are embrace a positive mindset and overcoming fear and self doubt. Firstly, when embracing a positive mindset, we have to remember that what we focus on, we create more of. In order to open ourselves up to greater opportunities and a more positive life, we have to shift our mindset and focus on what's possible and what's great instead of what's wrong. As Cicero reiterates, what you focus on, you create more of. And if you keep expecting people to annoy you, they will not let you down. She says this to point out that we have to focus on the finer points and encourage their good behavior if you want to create more of it. Even though she is focusing on people in this quote specifically, it's an ideal that can be applied to literally any point of our lives. As mentioned before, we create our reality, so we need to decide to shift our mindsets in order for it to actually shift. Lastly, and my fifth major takeaway, was that overcoming fear and self doubt. Similarly to some of the previous takeaways, overcoming fear and self doubt highlights how fear is a natural part of growth and can and should even be expected. But honestly, it's our reaction to that fear that can make a significant difference. By acknowledging this fear and self doubt, we can make more conscious decisions around how to stop them and tackle these barriers. A quote I personally really liked in the book that related to this takeaway was, if you want to live a life you've never lived, you have to do things you've never done. This can be very applicable to many, as it is hard to get out of a rut that we put ourselves in and to even accept that we're doing these things to ourselves. If we want to achieve more, we have to be willing to give more and also to take risks. To wrap things up, I just want to say that You Are a Badass has a very strong connection with what we've learned in class about mentorship, leadership, negotiation, and communication. Firstly, both the book and this course have highlighted the importance of seeking mentorship and how it can boost confidence. Cicero talks about not only having people that support you, but also surrounding yourself with people who push you to grow. This goes for both personal and professional parts of our lives, as we need to be surrounded by people who radiate self love and abundance, as said by Cicero herself, while also surrounding yourself with people who think the way that you want to think. Next, we have strong communication. As Cicero stated, we take in information via the words, smiles, frowns, heavy sighs, raised eyebrows, tears, laughter, etc. of people surrounding us. It all gets lodged into our squishy little subconscious minds as the truth. Communication weakness seriously creates how we present ourselves. Often caused by self doubt and negative thoughts, we can block effective communication, which aligns with our focus in this course on eliminating communication barriers to become more confident, sound more confident, and be more assertive in what we want and need. Thirdly, we have the correlation of being yourself and being a good leader. Going off the strong communication, self doubt needs to be addressed in order to truly be yourself and be the best leader you can be. In one of the chapters titled The Loincloth Man, Cicero states, "The thing that struck me more than the fact that he cut his hair with a sharp rock and probably wasn't wearing any undies was that he was totally unapologetic." This idea ties into our class discussions about empowerment. We seriously are our biggest advocates and are at the same time can be our worst enemies. However, it's important to remember that being confident is needed to be an effective leader. Last but not least, we have negotiation skills. This is probably one of my favorite quotes in the book, as indecisiveness is something that I heavily struggle with and I'm still working towards figuring out. But Cicero said that deciding is freedom, indecision is torture. In Well, we learn that negotiation is about knowing what you want and confidently advocating for it. Realizing what we are worth and actually making decisions to get what we deserve is an essential part of entering any negotiation. Thank you all so much for listening, and remember to be the most badass version of yourself.